Hey guys, we're the Bunks. We're alcohol enthusiasts and we're on a journey to change the stereotypic culture on booze. And on this week's episode, we're gonna talk whiskey culture featuring Manish Bhatia from the Whiskey Review channel on YouTube, MBS Man Cave. Pour yourself a glass and enjoy our show.
I'm Manish Bhatia. As you guys know, I am the host of the YouTube channel MB's Man Cave. I'm a regular guy just like you who likes to drink. But at the same time, somewhere I grew a passion about reading about alcohol more than drinking it. And over the last few years, I have been reading, I've been trying to, gain as much information I can gain about the world of alcohol, the world of liquor, especially whiskey and beer. And that, somehow prompted me to start a channel about about alcohol on YouTube, because I think general audience who'd like to drink, they still, we all love to drink. Some people drink expensive whiskey, some people drink, budget whiskey, but the one common thing is that we don't really know much about what we're drinking. So the idea from the channel was that let's educate people about on the basics of whiskey and how to drink, how to choose what to drink, and and at the same time pass on that information in a way which is easy to understand, for a normal person who's not a bartender or who's not a sommelier.
Right. So, Manish, could you give us an insight on a basic outline as to when or what occasions pair well with different categories of my whiskey?
See, that really depends on, that depends on a lot of aspects. Like, first of all, what you can afford, right?
Right.
If you can't afford a single malt, and if you just want to put a single malt just to show off, there's no point of that, because
Correct.
in the end we all like to drink whiskey, and but sometimes it does happen that we get overboard with the spend on liquor. So you have to first understand that that, like, why do you want to serve alcohol in a party, and then what kind of audience you have who will be coming to the party. So if it's people who do understand, who can appreciate the single malts, then go ahead and put it there. But if you have an audience who may not appreciate, then I personally feel that in my house I normally have a bottle of Black Label, because I find that anyone can easily drink it. They know about it. Even
Right.
if I put a single malt and I put a Black Label side by side, I think 8 out of 10 people will pick up Black Label
Black
because
Label,
they
yeah.
know the brand. So it's I because because you like something, that doesn't mean that the other person might also like. So that's why I don't offer people like a Lafroig or Lagavulin, or
Right.
so that's the. So I mean, it all. I suggest, if you have a party, if there are people coming in and you don't know their taste, play safe. Don't keep anything which is a big risk. And I think as far as bourbon is concerned, I think Indian audience is still not that used to the flavor of bourbon, because there are not a lot of bourbons available in India.
Correct.
But I guess now things will change in the coming few years.
I hope so. But also, I've observed, many people can't differentiate between Tennessee whiskey and bourbons.
So there is not a lot of difference between a Tennessee whiskey and bourbon. So that is completely fine for if a general audience is not able to differentiate that. I mean, it doesn't really matter, to be honest, because in the end, what you're drinking is whiskey. It's very similar. It's just one one additional step which makes a bourbon whiskey called a Tennessee whiskey, and that was
Right.
also not. It's not that it makes a lot of difference uh, in the taste, but it's just that because I think Jack Daniel's started it because they did not want their whiskey to be called a bourbon whiskey, because then they will be just one run of a mill bourbon whiskey. They wanted to
Right.
uh, differentiate themselves, their brand. So that's why instead of calling themselves bourbon, they started calling it a Tennessee whiskey,
Tennessee
because
whiskey.
they say that we do an additional step of charcoal filtering, which no one is doing. So ours is not a bourbon, ours is a Tennessee whiskey.
Correct. So, is bourbon whiskey generally related to more of the American drinks, or can it be made anywhere else in the world?
No, because bourbon is made in, just like Scotch is made in Scotland, bourbon is made in
Can-
USA.
Right.
You can make a whiskey with similar ingredients, which might also taste similar, but it cannot be called a bourbon whiskey. You can call it a corn-based whiskey, a corn whiskey, but you can't call it, a bourbon whiskey.
Yeah.
Like you have champagne, which is specifically made in a specific region of France. Anywhere else, you would call it sparkling wine.
Correct. But on a personal note, how do you like enjoying your drink?
I personally like to have it. If it's a good whiskey, I would like to have it. I like to have it neat. Sometimes on the rocks. If it's very hot, maybe I'll put a ice or two. I don't like to put too much of ice. And if it's a cheap whiskey, then I can put a bit of water, or maybe I can make a cocktail.
Right. So yeah, we had one episode on air already with whiskey, which was On the Rocks, and we talked about
Yeah.
different mixers and what people generally like. And on a general public note, as in our friend circle, we got a lot of people trying it with things like thumbs ups and Pepsi, Sprite, and things like that.
Right.
So do you think we can, make it something more funky, something more interesting than just use, beverages like that?
Absolutely. See, there is. I don't feel that that you can only drink whiskey neat. If you're not drinking whiskey neat, you're only then you're drinking it wrong. I feel that experiment with your drink, mix it the way you want, and if you like to try out new stuff, if you like to try, mix with some new kind of mixer, go ahead and give it a try. If you like it, that's great. So I feel that you should drink the way you like it, not
Correct.
the way somebody's telling you to drink.
Correct.
And that's why I don't tell anyone to drink in a specific way.
Yeah, I mean, in the end of the day, it's the drink in my hand that matters to me the most than someone else
Yeah.
giving me an idea on it. So when did this whole thing start? You bending towards whiskey and liking it more than the other liquors out there. So is there some story behind where we can give out to our listeners?
So I think it started, I mean, I was not somebody like maybe 5 years back. I was not like, very keen on, like reading about alcohol or, things like that. But maybe I love traveling. That is another passion of mine, that I love to travel. Although I haven't now, it's something which you can't do much
Yeah.
because of the whole pandemic. But I used to love traveling, and whenever I used to travel, I used to try, like how they say, like eat what the locals eat, similar to I used to drink what the locals drink. So I traveled to Greece, so we tried some ouzo, which is a specialty liquor in Greece. Then you go to France, I tried some good wines, some good cognacs in France. Then in Italy, you have some special drinks like a spritzer that they drink during the evening. There's a limoncello. So I traveled to like a lot of places, and I used to love experimenting and drinking what they're drinking, and that's started like a whole passion inside me to just read about what kind of different liquors are, and uh, then I started reading about beers, and then from there I started reading about whiskey, and I think that's how it all started.
Right. Also, Manish, what we guys have tried doing throughout our episodes was to promote responsible drinking. No, it's
Mhm.
not just about having a drink and going down on it, but enjoying the flavors and having a good time basically, and not going overboard. So, what do
Of
you
course.
think are the ways that you can talk about responsible drinking, or you're in the limit? It's not just saying okay, fine, when you're having whiskey, it's just 4 pegs, but any other thing that we could talk about?
See, the most important thing is that to understand your limit. Uh, that what how much your body can handle, right? Because everyone has their own limit. Maybe you might be able to drink, uh, you know, 5 drinks, but the other person might get, completely out of sorts within 2 drinks. So you have to understand your limit. Uh, of course, when I say 4 drinks, 5 drinks, that doesn't mean that you have it every day. When I'm talking about once in a while. Uh, at the same time, what I feel, which I think I have personally maybe gone through when I was in my early 20s, is that not early 20s, I would say mid 20s, because I only started drinking at 25.
Okay.
But when you are outside, you're having good time, you're partying, or you're with your friends, and you're having a drink. Your mood is elevated. You feel that alcohol has something to do with that. Of course, it does. Alcohol does elevate those experiences to some extent, but then we feel that if I'll have one more drink, I'll feel even better.
Hmm.
uh, and then we have another drink, and then we feel, okay, let's have one more drink and I'll feel even better. The night will continue, the fun will increase,
Yeah,
right?
that happens. Okay, so another thing, Manish, that we would like to know is, what is it that gives that smoky texture and few of the whiskeys?
So the smoky texture in the whiskey, there could be several reasons why it could come. Um, but the main, I mean, it could be the charcoal smoke
Correct.
that you're getting when the whiskey is filtered through charcoals, and or in bourbon whiskeys there is it ages in a charred barrel, so there is a bit of that smokiness that comes. It
Right.
could also be a bit of a wood smoke if it's just toasted barrel. But the main smokiness, that we experience in Scotch whiskies, in specifically like the Talisker or the Lafroig, Lagavulin, the Black Label, or the Teachers, uh,
Right.
that comes from something called peat. Uh, Peat is like a kind of a vegetation, kind of a moss that grows in Scotland. If you've seen like any pictures of Scotland, you've seen the grassland, the plain grassland. Uh, that is peat. Uh, so what happens is that when you are malting a barley, when barley is, you have to soak it in water so that it can, that the bacteria can start working, and it becomes malted. After that, you have to dry your malted barley so that that malting can stop. Uh, so to do that, the natural process is to just let it dry. But what Scottish people, they started doing, just to speed up the process, is they started burning bricks which is made of that peat, and when it burns, the smoke, with the help of the smoke, the malt, it dries out very quickly. But at the same time, it also absorbs a lot of the smoke from those bricks. and that same smoke is carried over to to our whiskey when we drink it. You can feel that taste of that smoke in that whiskey.
Right. Okay, so let's like dive into what you do the best. So, is there any whiskey that you would like to review?
Well, I mean, there are a lot of whiskeys that I would like to review one day. Currently, I'm enjoying one of my favorite whiskeys, which is Talisker 10 years old, which I really do enjoy, and I have reviewed it on my channel. If you guys haven't checked it out, you can check out on my channel, Mendy's Man Cave.
Yeah.
Currently enjoying, although it's a bit early to drink, but I guess it's never too early to drink. So I'm just, hear the sound of the cork opening, and I'm just pouring myself maybe a little 10 ml.
Right. Also, Manish, like, what do you think is the drink which is perfect for a starter or an amateur?
Like, as in which whiskey or which liquor?
Which whiskey? Yeah.
So I think, I feel that starting with a smoky whiskey can be a bit overwhelming, especially if you are drinking something like a Talisker. So I always recommend that you start with something which is non-smoky, or if you want to start with smoky, then try something which is not overly smoky, like maybe a Red Label, or maybe a Teacher's, or even Black Label is overly smoky, although it has smoky characteristics. But I feel that for a beginner, I would suggest start with something like Teachers or 100 Pipers, or with Jameson. Jameson is one of the best beginner whiskies. I recently reviewed 100 Pipers 12 years old, which again I felt it was very nice and something which anyone who doesn't drink whiskey can enjoy.
Right. So I'm guessing you would have already reviewed Jameson on your channel, right?
Yes, that was the first whiskey which I reviewed on my channel.
Yeah, and I guess all our listeners should tune in for that, because I feel Jameson is one of the most common drinks that most of them have. So I guess people should tune in and watch. But also, I would like to know what your experience with Jameson was.
So I have a very interesting story about Jameson. Because what happens sometimes is that you drink something, maybe like if you drink Kingfisher Premium, which is not probably the most amazing beers in the market, but we all have a lot of memories, because I think that's a lot of times that's the first beer we ever tasted, because at that time there are not a lot of options available. So now anytime you will taste it, you will have that nostalgic feeling, right? Similar to like there's a whiskey called Blender's Pride, which is very popular in India, and it's very often that's the first whiskey a person starts to drink. So even if they go to Black Label, but when they go back and drink Blender's Pride, they always have that nostalgic feeling. So because it's not just the taste of the whiskey, the taste of the whiskey has a lot more memories attached to it, so you start living those memories again. So I had never tasted Jameson until I got married. So when we got married, we went to Greece for our honeymoon, to this small island called Santorini, which is very beautiful. And while going from the duty free, I bought a bottle of Jameson for myself. So I thought, I'll just have it during the travel. And throughout our honeymoon, we had Jameson. So I like that flavor, of course. But of course, that those memories of of course you are on your honeymoon and you are at such a beautiful place. So they got merged into each other. The flavor of Jameson and that environment. So now whenever I drink Jameson, those memories they come back. I start reliving the island of Santorini. So there are a lot of personal, memories I have with Jameson whiskey.
That's really nice. Also, Manish, we would do something like a rapid fire. Okay, so we did this in our previous episode as well, and I'm going to give you two choices of whiskeys, and you would have to pick one. So you don't have to give us reasons as to why you picked it, but let's just keep that a secret.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, so if you were supposed to pick between, say, Bushmills or Paddy's?
Bushmills or?
Paddy's.
I have never tried Paddy's, so I can't say, but I've tried Bushmills, so I'll say Bushmills.
Okay, so Jack Daniels or a Jim Beam?
Jim Beam.
Jim Beam. Okay. Talisker or Monkey Shoulder?
Talisker.
Okay, so for, say, the Indian brands, a Paul John or an Amrut?
That is a difficult question to answer because I think they are they're good whiskeys. They're both very good, and I have tried Amrit Fusion and Paul John Brilliance, and they are very different in taste. Right? Paul John is Brilliance is very smooth, and Amrit. So I'll have maybe 30 ml of Amrit and 30 ml of Paul John.
But that's pretty clever an answer.
That's what I'm saying. Now I'll have, if I'm having 60 ml, I'll mix up 30 ml of that and 30 ml of Paul John.
Yeah.
Amrit and Paul John.
So,
because they're both Indian, they're not a lot of Indian brands who are making good whiskey.
right.
So there are only like two, three good companies. So why not? Why I don't like to divide people over that. Take, especially there are two good companies, so why not support both of them?
Right. Okay, so also we were doing this one thing, which was trying to bring out cheers in a local language, because cheers is again coming from the Western. So we thought, why not give everyone a chance to come up with some word for cheers in their own local languages. So do you have any suggestions for cheers in Hindi?
Well, since I'm from Delhi and I'm a Punjabi guy, if you watch my channel, I have this saying on my channel, which is "Pio patch, pio."
Oh, that's amazing. Actually, we could bring that up.
And that's how Punjabis, say cheers. So
yeah.
That's what I use on my channel, which is it's a trademarked tagline. That I have registered for my channel. That's how I say cheap on my channel.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, so guys, that's all we have for today on our show. And thanks a lot, Manish. It's been really amazing recording with you. And thank you for giving us a lot into the world of whiskey.
Glad to be a part of your show, and I hopefully it grows.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you for your wishes, Manish, and thank you so much for coming on this show for the recording with us. It really means a lot.
Okay guys, do check out Manish's YouTube channel MB's Man Cave to get more insights onto your favorite drinks, and like he said, do experiment with your drinks, have it the way you want, just enjoy the flavors and have a great time. Cheers guys.
Thank you so much for tuning into our this week's episode. Catch us on our Instagram page for more info and content, _bunks_show.